The rain didn't stop for 3 days. Cold winds sliced through the empty streets, drenching everything in its path. Beneath a broken street lamp, a young girl crouched under a torn piece of plastic. Her clothes clung to her thin frame, and her hands trembled as she tried to keep the last piece of bread dry. Her name was Emily Carter, 16 years old, homeless and alone. Her parents had passed away in a car accident 2 years ago. With no relatives to take her in, she had bounced between foster homes, shelters, and finally, the streets. Yet despite everything, there was still something kind and unbroken in her, a spark that refused to die. That night, as thunder cracked through the sky, Emily heard a faint whimper. She looked around, squinting through the rain. A small golden retriever lay shivering near the trash cans, its fur soaked, eyes full of fear. Without hesitation, Emily pulled the plastic sheet over the dog. Hey, it's okay," she whispered softly, brushing its wet fur. "You're safe now." The dog whimpered, tail thumping weakly. She tore the last piece of her bread in half and offered it. "I don't have much, buddy, but you can have this." For the first time in days, Emily smiled, because someone needed her. The next morning, Emily woke up to find the rain had stopped. The golden retriever slept beside her, its head resting on her lap. She laughed quietly, stroking its fur. "You're a good boy, guess I'll call you Sunny." She found an old cardboard box near the alley and made a small shelter for Sunny. They sat together, sharing the warmth of the morning sun. For the first time in a long time, she felt less invisible. But her peace didn't last long. "Hey, you can't stay here," shouted the store owner next door. "You and that mutt need to move before I call the cops." Emily gathered her few belongings and picked up Sunny. "It's okay," she murmured. "We'll find somewhere else." She walked until her legs ached, stopping under a bridge. That night she hugged Sunny tightly to her chest, whispering, "We'll be okay, as long as we're together." The next day, as dawn crept in, a black car pulled up near the alley she had slept in. A tall man in a suit stepped out, holding a photo in his hand. His eyes scanned the surroundings anxiously until they landed on the small dog beside Emily. "Sunny," he called out. The retriever's head shot up, tail wagging wildly. It broke free from Emily's arms and ran straight to him. The man knelt, hugging the dog tightly. Relief flooded his face. Emily froze, her heart clenched painfully. So he had an owner. The man looked up, eyes meeting hers. He noticed her dirty clothes, tired eyes, and trembling hands. "You found him?" he asked softly. Emily nodded. "He was lost in the rain. I just couldn't leave him there." The man blinked, clearly moved. "You saved him." He introduced himself as Alexander Reed, CEO of Reed Industries, a name Emily had seen once on a billboard, a man worth millions. But right now, he didn't look like a CEO. He looked like a father who had found his child again. "Please," he said gently, "let me do something for you. You must have gone through a lot." Emily shook her head quickly. "No, really, I'm fine. I just wanted him safe." She started to walk away, clutching her small bag. But Alex couldn't let her go. Something about her quiet dignity broke him. That evening, when Emily returned to the abandoned warehouse where she sometimes slept, she heard a knock on the rusty door. She opened it slowly and gasped. Standing there with a kind smile and a paper bag full of food was Alexander Reed. "I told you I'd come back," he said gently. Emily's eyes widened. "How did you find me?" "Sunny did," he laughed softly. The dog barked, wagging its tail as if confirming the story. Alex placed the bag down. "There's food, a blanket, and some clean clothes. Please take them." Tears welled in Emily's eyes. No one had ever come back for her before. I don't know what to say." "Just say you'll eat," Alex said with a warm smile. Over the next few days, Alex visited often. He brought food, clothes, and sometimes Sunny. He listened as Emily talked about her life, her parents, her dreams, her fear of trusting people again. And he shared his own story. He had lost his wife 3 years ago. Since then, his life had become all about work, meetings, deals, and empty mansions. Sunny had been his only companion, the last piece of joy he had left. The night Sunny went missing, Alex realized how hollow his world had become. And now, because of Emily, he had found something even more valuable than his dog, hope. One rainy evening, Alex made a decision. He showed up at the shelter where Emily had recently found a place to sleep. "Emily," he said softly, "I know you're strong and independent, but sometimes strength also means letting people help." She looked at him uncertainly. I run a foundation for youth support, he continued. It helps kids finish school, get housing, start fresh. I want you to join, not as charity, but as someone who deserves a new beginning. Emily hesitated. What if I fail? Alex smiled gently. Then you try again, and this time you won't be alone. Months passed. Emily started school again through Alex's foundation. She volunteered at an animal shelter, inspired by the dog she once saved. Sunny visited often, still wagging his tail every time he saw her. And Alex, he found himself visiting too, not out of pity, but pride. He saw in her the courage he'd long forgotten in himself. One afternoon, during a charity event, Emily stood on stage to share her story. Her voice trembled at first, but soon grew stronger. I was just a girl who had lost everything, she said. But one rainy night when I saved a dog, I didn't know I was saving myself too. Kindness, it always finds its way back. The audience erupted in applause. Alex stood in the back, eyes misty, as Sunny barked joyfully beside him. That night, as the lights faded and the rain began to fall again outside, Emily whispered softly to Sunny, "You changed everything for me." And in that quiet moment, she realized that even the smallest act of kindness, saving a dog from the rain, could lead to miracles far greater than she ever dreamed. Moral: sometimes life tests us with storms, not to break us, but to help us discover who we truly are. Kindness has a way of returning, often when we least expect it.